Hey baby cakes, I'm back. I don't know how many of you feel like I was on quite a long hiatus and how many of you feel like I've only just been gone. The last time I uploaded was 17th of January, but quite a few people have messaged me or left comments underneath my Instagram photos or on Facebook saying things like, where are you? Are you okay? I'm missing your videos. I hope you're okay. So that kind of made me realise that actually I do upload more regularly than maybe I thought I did, and leaving things from the 17th to now was a bit longer for most people than I'd realised. The YouTube experience is a bit of a weird one, doll faces. Sometimes if you leave things for long enough, or at least in my case anyway, if I leave things for long enough, I get a little bit of apprehension about coming back to it. And I think that's where I started with these rambly update kind of videos. It was because I found that just doing a rambly update that was sort of not really committed to any specific topic that I could just sit down and do and just relax into was really one of the only ways to get me back into the groove after a kind of hiatus with video making. So it can be a bit weird coming back after a few weeks of not making videos. The best thing for me to do in that kind of situation is just have a video where I just relax and take the edge off, drink some tea, and just do my thing. I'm drinking an apple, elderflower and pear blend from the Tesco Finest range, and it smells amazing. I literally just purchased this box the other day and I've had one bag so far, but I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to this now. Okay, I've been talking for a few minutes now and I still feel weird about this. It's so strange, I can't really explain it. It's just one of those things where after a while it feels weird to do a video. How about I start by talking about things that are around me on my bed. I'm filming this on my bed. I have my little bed desk thing that I've got my tripod standing on. It's very comfortable for me to film videos on my bed because I have a herniated L4, which is a leftover present from a snowboarding injury I had years ago. So a lot of the time I do like to film my videos on my bed. It just feels really comfy that way. And I have some things around me on the bed. Maybe it would be a good place to start to just talk about those things randomly. Okay, so I went into a vintage / thrift type store in my area the other day that was intentionally not only kind of made to feel more like a thrift store, like an American thrift store than a charity shop, but also had a lot of American stuff in it. Like I found quite a lot of soccer sweaters and I bought one of them, and I found some Hanes sweatshirts, and we do not have Hanes here, so it was very American in its stock was really American. Not that I'm saying that this skirt is American, this is just something I found while I was in there, but look at this, how wild is that? I'm so happy with this, and it really flatters my figure. It makes my bum look so good. Ah! Also featured on my mess of crap on my bed situation is my unicorns are real stationery that a friend got me for my birthday. It's got a things to do list on it and like some really cute stickers on the other side. I won't show you the other side because I actually have some notes on there with reference numbers and prices and things like that. So, but yeah, anything to do with unicorns in terms of stationery makes me happy. I finally bought this collection of poetry from Rupi Kaur, Milk and Honey, and obviously, like everybody else, I'm not going to tell you anything different. It's fucking sublime. It's totally superb. I absolutely love it. I felt like I wanted to give myself the full experience of it and having it and really reading through it and absorbing myself into it. Obviously, you can find so many of these poems online. You can see the art online and stuff, and it is everywhere. It does show up everywhere online. There's so many different places I've been online and seen it, but I wanted to own it. I wanted to go through the whole experience of it, and I'm this far so far, and wow, it's stunning. And this actually motivated me to listen to Lewis Howe's podcast. What the fuck is his podcast called? The School of Greatness, that's what Lewis Howe's podcast is called, The School of Greatness, and he has an episode that he does with Rupi Kaur where he interviews Rupi Kaur. So I listened to that the other night while I was doing the washing up, and I really enjoyed that. I thought it was great to actually hear from her and listen to her experience of trying to write the second book of poetry, feeling the immense pressure of coming off the back of this phenomenal success that she experienced with Milk and Honey. So that was really interesting. And listening to her talk about her experiences with emotional abuse and stuff like that, I really enjoyed that particular episode of the School of Greatness podcast. So if you listen to it on Spotify or anything like that, and probably the video has been uploaded onto YouTube as well. I know Lewis Howes does also have the videos uploaded onto YouTube on his channel of quite a lot of the people that he interviews for the podcast. So I really enjoyed listening to the Rupi Kaur interview and just listening to the experiences that she had with emotional abuse and the journey that she went through to kind of emancipate herself from that. I found that really interesting, and it made me think that it is something that I would quite like to talk about on the channel. I definitely have been through a couple of really severe experiences of emotional abuse in romantic connections that had really lasting effects on me. And listening to other people's experiences with that and with other types of abuse that, you know, that are connected to romantic bonds is always of interest to me. And of course it's really a big part of what I deal with in the work that I do with clients. It's something I'm always thinking about in terms of different ways to look at it, different tools that can be amassed to help people get through it. I'm always adding new things, I think, to my particular toolkit when it comes to focusing on things like abuse in romantic relationships and stuff. So it was just a really interesting interview. I really love this poem, and I really love the illustration here of the waterfall. And the poem goes like this: how do you turn a forest fire like me, so soft I turn into running water? I read that and I was like, wow, that's so me. What am I to you, he asks. I put my hands in his lap and whisper, you are every hope I've ever had in human form. When my mother opens her mouth to have a conversation at dinner, my father shoves the word hush between her lips and tells her to never speak with her mouth full. This is how the women in my family learn to live with their mouths closed. Such a fucking profound book. My pencil case is on my bed. My pencil case is actually never really far away from me. Oh, it's spilling out everywhere. I've actually got too many pens in it. I cracked open a pack of Bic coloured pens the other day, and I think I've tried to cram all of them in there on top of all kinds of other things. I've got the Bic Intensity range in here. I fucking love these. These are some of my favourite pens ever. And Uniball Airs, these are also some of my favourite pens to write with ever. So yeah, I've just got everything crammed in here. I love this pencil case. It says, I believe in magic. And it's sparkly, and obviously there's unicorns on it. I'm not going to apologise, alright? So, you know, don't wait for an apology because you'll be waiting a long time. I've got a cloud zip on here. I really don't know why I'm trying to close it because it's not going to happen. I'm going to end up breaking it. I've got Light Visions Tarot to open. Very excited to have a chance to do an unboxing and first impressions of that, and I will be doing that when I get back from Amsterdam after the weekend. Amsterdam calls. I have a very important friend over there who has a birthday on Saturday, and I'm afraid I need to go out there and paint the town red in honour of her and her life. Haven't been to Amsterdam for fucking years, so that's going to be a bit of a trip. I can't wait. Obviously it's going to be a trip, it's going to be a literal trip, but it's also going to be a trip, man, you know. Got my laptop on the bed, my old faithful, with my Bang Face sticker on it. Shout out to anyone who actually knows what Bang Face is, and 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up to anyone who's been. It's there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. It's just one big mashup. Let's say it's one of a number of places in the country where a chaos witch can go to recharge her batteries once a year. Got my gratitude journal on the bed. It's never too far away. I really love writing in this thing. I've received some gifts to my PO box that I was thinking about opening on camera, without mentioning any names or anything like that. I don't want to expose anyone who sent me something who doesn't necessarily want to be name dropped in a video, but I felt like there was something about that maybe wasn't in keeping with what I do on the channel. I didn't know how well that would go down. I've never really thought about it before. I've just got some packages there that I know I need to open, and I plan to open them all at the same time, and I thought, oh, it'd be really nice to do it on camera. And then I just thought it's not really fair to the people that have sent me those things. Maybe they don't want me to open on camera, and also maybe people don't want to necessarily see that from me. I don't know. I think sometimes people do feel a bit funny about things like packages, PO box openings, love mail and that sort of stuff. I mean, you could choose to not watch it, I guess, but it's part of a sort of update rambly video, so I didn't want to include it, but I'd be really interested to know down below what you guys think about potentially me opening up some of the things that I get from my PO box, because I get really interesting things. Quite a lot of people send me tea, which is fucking stupendous. I love that. I've had people send things to my PO box and just write me a little note saying that it's a thank you for the content that I make and the stuff that I put out, and I find that so unbelievably sweet. That's just so incredible to me, and it just fills me with all kinds of positive vibes and good juju and lovely, strong, high energies. Thank you so much. That's very sweet. So come on, who made resolutions? I want to know who made resolutions. I want to know what you think about resolutions. Tell me down below what your thoughts and feelings are on the whole concept of New Year's resolutions. That is something that really interests me. I know that a lot of people are not into the idea. A lot of people don't even like the word resolutions because of the baggage that it carries with it and the broken promises that are still ringing in people's hearts and minds when they think about the many different New Year's resolutions that they have decided upon and that have ended up going by the wayside. I think of New Year as a reasonably good time to decide upon things and make changes and put things into action, but it's by no means one of the only times. You know, there are lots of different times for me that I consider to be fortuitous for stuff like making changes, kicking habits, you know, getting moving into a different direction. So to me, New Year's resolutions are not the be all and end all, but honestly, this year, like coming up to the end of 2017, I had no resolutions in mind. I did not plan any resolutions. There was nothing really that I wanted to write down. I felt like I just was going to flow into it, and it was very organic. I didn't have this huge overwhelming sense that it was time for me to write a big list of things that I wanted to do or achieve. It felt like a much more organic thing, and it felt more like I was just riding this wave of time and letting the experience happen to me and letting the experience unfold. And I know exactly why that is. It's very much because during December of 2017, I went through some massive changes that have been a really, really long time in the making, and they finally actually materialized in my life during December. So it doesn't really surprise me that I had this energy that was more about just riding the wave to its conclusion, like riding the wave to the point where it would break, rather than being really about, you know, rigidly shaping the future and shaping my trajectory into the new year. So it made sense to me that I didn't actually choose any resolutions, and that wasn't my vibe. But then the first week of January, I randomly sat down and out of nowhere, I wrote out 28 resolutions. So that was fucking weird. Out of nowhere, I was like scribbling away my Filofax one night and just came up with this massive bunch of numbered resolutions, almost without like a single mistake in the writing as well. It was like these resolutions just bounded out of me onto the paper. It was a very strange experience. How many of them I will actually do, I don't know. But interestingly, even though they came out of me in almost this very formulaic, very sort of like, you know, I don't know, meant to be kind of fashion, I still feel like I don't have to be rigid about them. I don't have to convince myself that they have to get done and that I will have failed in some way if they don't get done. So that's pretty good. So I still feel pretty chill and flexible about them. But that was really interesting that I definitely wasn't expecting any to come, and then I just hiccup burped them all out into my Filofax, and I was like, whoa, that's a lot. And some of them are sort of one-time experiences that I've planned to have, like pilgrimages or whatever, or activities I want to do. And other things are things that I want to be working on over the course of the year, things that I want to learn that I want to be working on, for example, projects that I want to be doing that are ongoing. So there's kind of a mix of different types of resolutions. Some are sort of like a single serve kind of resolution that once you've done it, it's done. And others are a lot more long-winded than that, and they are about me just kind of committing to the journey in a consistent way. So I'd love to know what you guys have done with regard to resolutions, how you feel about them. Did you used to love them and now you can't stand them anymore? What are your feelings about the energy of New Year and how it can potentially be used to help you to kind of get onto a better path or feel better about the future. Okay, so here are some of my New Year's resolutions that I wrote down. They're in the list section in my file of facts, my special oracle here. I want to get better at swimming, so I want to have at least one swimming lesson. I want to be strong enough to do lane swimming in the mornings at my gym, which I'm not strong enough to do at the moment. I don't feel confident enough to do that. I'm a really sort of weak swimmer, so I want to get that sorted out. So that's something that can be pretty easily rectified. They do swimming lessons, like one-on-one swimming lessons and stuff at my gym, so I'm gonna have to get that sorted. Finish my current art journal is one of my New Year's resolutions, and I'm really excited about that one. And another one of my New Year's resolutions is watch 20 to 30 new films, including some classics. So I'm not very good at watching films. I'm shit at it. I really do believe that film is an art form, and I take it seriously and I think it's important, but for some reason I can always convince myself not to do that and to spend my time in a different way, basically convincing myself that watching a film is a waste of time. I'm always too busy to watch a film. Although I can talk myself out of reading a book on the basis that I'm too busy, there's something else I need to do, I can read books, you know, there is time for books, like it is important enough for me to read. But for some reason watching films gets put on the back burner a lot more than I would like. So 20 to 30 new films don't necessarily have to be new as in new, but they have to be new to me. So if you have any film recommendations for me, if you can think of anything that you really think that I would love to watch and you don't know whether or not I've seen it, please leave the recommendation down below and I will take it under advisement. Extra points if you can give me one reason why you think I should watch that film. Oh, I've written down here that I want to do 3 festivals at least, and that's definitely happening because I already have 3 festivals booked. And I'm still thinking about doing Deck Mantle. I'm going to have to do Deck Mantle one year. Might as well be this year, right? I've got a specific goal for the amount of videos that I want to make about shadow work this year, which I think is apt because shadow work is obviously one of my key themes. It's one of my key interests. It's something that I keep building on and thinking about. So it makes sense that I want to kind of put some rough number to the amount of pieces of considered content I want to put out about that, especially since I have had a lot of new ideas and lots of new things entering my mind, stuff that I know that I haven't spoken about on the channel before. There's so many gaps, you know, in the stuff that I have spoken about with regard to shadow, so I'm definitely looking forward to bringing that into a more central position. Continue looking after my dental health. I didn't go to the dentist for 7 fucking years. 7 years. And then when I finally went to the dentist with all of this fear and like terror inside of me, when I finally decided I'm going to love myself enough to go to the dentist, I went to the dentist, everything was fine. I needed an extraction, but I was allowed to be knocked out for it. I had a cleaning, it was fine. The dentist was amazing, the dental nurse was amazing. After that, even though it was a positive experience overall, I still then didn't go to the dentist for almost another 2 years. It was ridiculous. Now I have an amazing dentist and I regularly have checkups and everything's good. But I really had a fear of dentistry and I didn't have that from childhood. I was pretty confident at the dentist as a child. I was fine. I didn't make any fuss. At a certain age I had to have 2 fillings and it didn't matter a jot. I was awake for the whole procedure and there was no problem. It was actually after my eating disorder that I started to become deathly afraid of the dentist, and that was because I knew that I had done some serious damage to my fucking teeth and my gums. I knew that my gums were receding. I knew that I had a weak tooth in the back that was kind of slowly chipping sort of year on year, and I just started to become really frightened that if I went to the dentist would just look in my mouth and basically say, you fucked it, Kellyanne, okay? You played your hand and I'm afraid all the cards have now gone. You're just going to have to be gummy. I was very, very frightened about what I could potentially have done to myself, and I waited a really long time to go, and now that I'm really truly back on track with it and I know that I'm not going to fall back into my old habits of procrastinating and not going to the dentist, I definitely want to keep going with the dental health. Obviously it's a massive part of self-love, and it's something that teaching self-love and talking about self-love actually encouraged me to do, because the more that you know that that's something that you want to talk about, that you are living, that has saved your life and that you want to impart onto others, the more you also know that you're not interested in being a hypocrite who is ignoring really important parts of your own self-love and self-care journey whilst preaching the benefits of self-love and self-care to others. You can't do that. You cannot do that. So there comes a point where you start to listen to your own message and love your own message so much that you realise the little ways that you are not living it. And that's a really important part of what this work has done for me. It made me really look in the mirror and say, you know what, if you really believe these things and if these things have really saved you, then you need to make yourself an appointment with the dentist, darling, because this is not good. This is not good, is it? So I kind of used a lot of the things that I had been using to help clients, and I used those things to help me. I think it's really important that I mention things like that and talk about things like that, because when you know, make it your business to talk about personal development and personal evolution and healing, deep emotional healing at the core of you, I think that sometimes there is this perception from certain people that what you're saying is that everything is perfect for you and you've come to the end of your series of lessons for your life and you are ready now to, you know, go on to the next life, or even to just finish your cycle. Like, there's no more lives after this. I've got it all worked out. And it's very important to me that anyone that's giving me even half an ear at any given time understands that that's not what I'm saying. And I don't think that I'm ready to be released from samsara. And I don't think that I have all the answers. I am muddling through as well. And I have come, you know, tremendously far on my self-love journey, and that's why I'm such a huge proponent of it and talk about it all the time, because it has helped me. And thinking about it and living it and trying to make decisions based on it as a daily practice every day has really helped me. But I'm by no means at the end of my challenges when it comes to things that I kind of stumble across in life that make me want to make unself-loving choices. Obviously, I still go through those challenges, and I will for the whole of this incarnation. That's one of those things, and I have to keep showing up and making the right decision. And it's actually my work with clients and the things that I put out on the internet and stuff that helps me anchor into the right choices a lot of the time. It's a daily practice for me as well. Self-love is a daily practice for me, not just for the people that I'm talking to that know that they want to implement it into their lives and they want to cultivate it as a daily practice. Like, it's still a daily practice for me. There doesn't suddenly come a point one day where you stop having to wake up and newly commit yourself to loving yourself and helping yourself, being there for yourself, healing yourself. It's still a choice I make consciously every day, and it's still a choice that I very occasionally forget to make sometimes, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. And I wouldn't want to take guidance and mentoring or instruction or advice or support or, you know, any of those things, encouragement. I wouldn't want to take any of that from somebody that was telling me that they were beyond all of that stuff now in their own life, and they never ever had any crossroads where they wanted to make an unself-loving choice. I would rather be nurtured and supported by somebody who is still living it for real and who still has those challenges themselves. So I want to finish the Card Slinger Let's Compare series. That's one of my New Year's resolutions. It says here, keep using your foam roller. So basically I started realising that I was having some problems with my legs, my knees in particular, and my upper thighs. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of everything, but basically I ended up going to a physiotherapist, and he told me that I need to be using a foam roller. I need to be getting that blood moving. I need to be giving myself massage after I do my gym sessions. So I bought this foam roller for home so I don't have to do it all at the gym, and it's agony. It's not very nice. My physio said it's supposed to hurt, you know, it's supposed to be uncomfortable. You've really got to, you know, get deep into those muscle groups. So it has helped a lot, and my knees have stopped giving me shit. But it's something that is really difficult to convince myself to do sometimes after an hour or 90-minute gym session. Like, to come home and use my foam fucking roller, it's just like not really the one, but I'm trying to be good and continue to use it. So that's on the list. Maintain both of my Facebook groups well. I have two Facebook groups. One is my business Facebook group, and the other is my safe house, my private safe house group. So both of those groups are actually pretty much on lock. With the safe house, you can only get in as part of certain purchase options on my store. And with the business group, you can be invited in if you know someone who is in the business group, who you're friends with on Facebook, or you can get in through having a business mentoring session with me, you know, if I mention it at the time and get you in then. But other than that, it's pretty closed as well. But we've cultivated great communities on both counts, and I really, really love both groups. And sometimes I do want to dedicate more time than I do. So I really want to focus on being more conscientious about spending time in both of those groups because the communities there are amazing. And I feel like, you know, I've had some hand in cultivating these communities. I would like to see them continue to thrive and flourish, and I would like to still be at the helm of those communities in some way. Keep my accounts up to date and just be really regular with doing my books. Boring, boring, boring. But you know, these things happen when you're self-employed. You know, you got to think about that boring, mundane shit. I've really changed the way that I use my planner. I actually sort of changed it last year, and I think I spoke about this in a video scrapbook a while ago, but maybe I didn't get to this part of the detail. But basically for me, I now no longer use a week on 2 pages diary which tracks what I do with my time, because I've gotten to really using my electronic schedule more and more. Now, when clients book a Skype session with me or a Skype reading with me, mentoring, anything that happens via Skype that's time sensitive, they book in using my online schedule. But I also use my online schedule for other things as well. There's quite a few other things that I find it easier to schedule on there now. So my use for my paper planning system in my Filofax has changed quite a lot, and now I do this thing that I like to think of as companion pages, which is where I just have 1 page of A5 a day to do whatever I want in. So there might be a massive to-do list in there, there might be reminders in there, there might be just lists of stuff. Sometimes I doodle, I write down quotes or funny things from the day or memorable things from the day. Sometimes I decorate it really nicely and I've got some washi on there or whatever, and sometimes it's very scrappy and there's hardly anything on it. And sometimes I simply just do not have a companion page because I don't need to. Maybe I'm out all day, maybe I'm in London with friends, maybe I'm just having a really chill one and I'm only doing one thing for the day or whatever, and I feel like I don't need a companion page. So there's no pressure and there's no stress to have a companion page or to decorate it or pretty it up in a particular way. This is really, really fucking working for me, guys. I'm loving it, and I definitely will do a video at a later stage where I show some of my companion pages to give you a sense of what's possible if you're looking for something a bit different. If you find that, like me, you want to get away from the rigidity this year with your paper planning and you want to do something that's much more fun and is much more about you just feeling like you have that accountability somewhere for the day, you're checking in somewhere during your day. I think this could be particularly good for self-employed people who do actually use an electronic schedule for client calls or appointments or whatever. You know, to schedule work in, but also feel like they do like that paper planning element. They do feel like there's something relaxing about that, there's something engaging about that that needs to happen, kind of thing. So I definitely think companion pages could be good for that. I don't know where the idea came from for me, but I'm really loving it. It's really working out for me. A lot of the time, if you don't see me on YouTube for a little while, it's usually because a number of things need to be dealt with aside from YouTube. So I might have an intense amount of client work on at the same time as doing something like organising the final stages of an exclusive video collection or planning and strategizing for a new exclusive video collection. I might be seeing friends, I might be traveling to see friends or family, I might be helping friends out with things. You know, if a friend moves, for example, I'll probably be that person that's helping to like chisel wallpaper off and, you know, put new paint on the walls and things like that. You know, so there are definitely things I do in relation to people I love when I'm helping them and I don't have as much time to film. The vast majority of the time, if I'm not filming as regularly, you do not need to worry about me. And also, it's very highly unlikely that my online store is closed. In fact, if anything, my online store is probably more than a little bit open, but I'm just helping a lot of clients, speaking with a lot of clients, doing a lot of back and forth with clients, you know, so you don't need to worry about me falling off the face of the planet for a bad reason necessarily, but sometimes it is to do with me having a lot on my plate emotionally and just needing that extra space alongside being a full-time counsellor and card slinger to deal with my own stuff. And I would say that's been part of it, and a lot of it has also been kind of helping friends with things and whatnot. So yeah, you know, it's a little bit of everything really. I joined the gym last September, guys. I joined the gym after a very, very long time of not having a gym membership, and I finally knew it was the right time for me. I finally knew that the circumstances were right, my headspace was right, and I joined the gym, and I'm so, so happy that I did, and I've managed to keep it really consistent, and it's been good. It's definitely taken longer to to see the kind of progress and feel the kind of progress that I want and that I'm striving for. But I think that's a good thing, because it means that I haven't made any extremely disruptive lifestyle changes to try to achieve progress in any, you know, in a manner that's like faster and more instantaneous. So that shows that I'm on a good track, and that shows that I'm definitely one with my intention to do this in a healthy and self-loving way, and to have my motivations where I need them to be. Whereas in the past, in my 20s, there were definitely times where if I didn't see the kind of progress or feel the kind of progress that I wanted with immediacy, I would definitely start to do things more drastically. I would work out more, I would doctor my diet, I would do all those kinds of things in order to achieve the progress that I wanted. And then of course you can't sustain that progress because it's not sustainable. The way that you've achieved it wasn't sustainable, so you can't continue with it, and then you end up feeling disappointed and whatever. So I've definitely done it in a way that I'm happy with and that's right for me. And I wrote down some notes for an audio workshop for my online store a while ago. It was about a month ago now, and I'm getting prepared to actually record that one and put it up in the online store. So I'll let you guys know when that one's out, because it's all about motivation at the gym, everything I've learned so far about being a member of the gym in a consistent way that's working for you. I feel like I've picked up so much just from a few months of being there that I felt like I had to just divulge all of this stuff about my own journey and everything that I've learned in the process of going back to joining the gym after all of this time of feeling like it wasn't right for me. And I've definitely had this really interesting rocky road with gym membership, and that's something that I talk about a little bit in the audio workshop I'm going to be doing. That's very much in the notes, that I want to refer to my own story first and then talk about all the tips and suggestions and the different perspectives that I've got as the result of going through that weird journey of different phases with the gym, and then coming back really strong and feeling like I'm really focused, and it's really all about the stamina goals, the emotional well-being goals, as well as the physical progress as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it's going, really pleased with what I'm doing, and I'm enjoying this combination at the moment of weight training, HIIT and steady state cardio. And I'm also doing some home workouts as well with my dumbbells and a little bit of just mat exercises and core workouts and stuff. So altogether it's been an amazing road. I'd love to know down below how many of you have a gym membership. Are you using your gym membership in a consistent way that is fulfilling for you right now? Have you fallen off the gym bandwagon? Do you want to get back on? Do you feel like you joined the gym and then it wasn't right for you? I'd love to know some gym stories. I'd love to know how many people that watch me are actually like gym bunnies. So how many of you are doing it? How many of you are about that life, darling? I'd love to know. I really love it, and I've really started to enjoy going very early in the morning. So my gym opens at 6 a.m. I do wish it was 24-hour, although that might be a bad idea. If it was 24-hour, right, I'd love it, but I would probably also end up a little bit like Bridget Jones in that scene in Bridget Jones's Diary where she goes to the fucking gym in the middle of the night and she's just like really hammering it out on the bike machine, and then she gets off it and she just falls over because she can't feel her legs anymore. I probably would be a bit like that. I'll probably end up getting tipsy at some point and like sauntering down to the gym after a few G&Ts and just being like, yeah, I'm just going to go on the Stairmaster. I'm just going to go on the elliptical. Like, that's the kind of thing I would do. I'd be like, oh, the gym's open, that's an option. And it just would be silly. I keep track of my gym visits and any feelings and thoughts that I have about my progress in my file of facts. So I have my own little segment for that, and I really enjoy that. That's going really well for me at the moment, just kind of tracking my progress in there and just keeping hold of any other thoughts that I have in there as well. I have some card comparison videos filmed for you guys. I'm very excited to get some more of them out. The reason that I haven't edited any of them and put them out is because I have a Virgo fucking moon, and it is really, you know, snowballing as time goes on. And I'm that kind of person that if I do a series like Card Slinger, for example, or Rambling Witch or Housework Rambles, I like to space them out. I don't like to just do 2 in a row or 3 in a row. That feels unhinged and disjointed and messy for me. I like to space things out and have other things in between, and that's how it feels right for me. So I actually have filmed 2 Housework Rambles now that need to be edited and scheduled, and I have a couple more of the Card Slinger comparison videos that also need to be edited and scheduled. So I have content that I have kind of made in between times, but I feel like if it's part of a series then I will space it out, and that's just how I am. That's just It's just how I like things to be done. I recently got a tarot deck that's been on my wish list for a really long time, and I tried to take it off of my wish list a couple of times, but it just kept finding its way back on there. I was like, no, I want this deck. I can't help but want this deck. I need it. And it's the True Love Tarot deck by Amy Zerner and Monty Farber. And this is actually a little known deck, I've come to realise. It's not a deck that many people are aware of or have in their collection, like that many people from the online sort of tarot collecting community. It's actually a little bit of a hidden gem. It's a little bit of a hidden treasure. And I saw it ages ago online and I just wanted it so much, and now it's finally mine. And look at the guidebook. Look at these vivid, gorgeous colours. How stunning is it, with these real like big repros of the cards and stuff? Absolutely love it. So if you are a member of my newsletter, or if you were when I opened this deck, then you will have received the unboxing and first impressions video, which I did exclusively for my newsletter subscribers. So I did do an unboxing and first impressions of True Love Tarot, but it was for my newsletter subscribers only, and that was fun. If you are not a member of my newsletter and you would like to receive occasional videos from me that I don't put out anywhere else online, then do click down below and go over and put yourself on my newsletter. It's always really nice to have new subscribers. I do not post regularly. I don't send things regularly. I just send when I feel called to do so. And I have sent quite a few unboxing and first impressions videos over time. I really do enjoy doing them. And the last one I did was for True Love Tarot. So this is a really interesting deck because it doesn't have suits of wands, pentacles, cups and swords. Instead, it's replaced with gems, wings, roses and shells. So I thought that was a really nice touch. So wings are obviously representative of air, which is normally symbolised by swords. And then you've got roses, which is normally symbolised by the suit of wands. The gems are normally symbolised by the suit of pentacles. And then the shells, if I can get one from shells. Here we go. Princess of Shells. Shells are normally cups. So the four suits have been renamed and kind of reimagined, and so obviously the energies associated with them by extension have kind of been somewhat reimagined and repackaged, and it's got this really romantic feel to it, these reimaginings of the four suits. So I really love the deck for that. Every single card has a little subheading sort of word associated with it. So for the world, it's consummation. For 8 of gems, which is 8 of pentacles, it's perfectionism. I love all the gems, they're so beautiful. Justice, the subheading is truth. 8 of shells, which is 8 of cups, the subheading is sacrifice. So it's a really interesting deck to explore and look into. I really love this deck. I love the palette. I love just the way that it feels, the way that it reads. I've used it for a few clients now. I really love the, ooh, I've got a jumper. What is it? 7 of gems, aka 7 of pentacles. Well, that's some shit I seriously need right now, so I'm not surprised that jumped out at me. I won't go into it, darlings, but it's relevant, believe me, just put it that way. Yeah, I really like the backings as well. It just gives me some real sort of sense of vitality. So, yeah, I'm really happy I finally got this one. Dust to Onyx is coming. It has been a palaver. It took me fucking forever to get the stupid bloody letter from Parcel Force telling me how much I owe customs. And then I couldn't pay the bill, the customs charge online for some reason. My reference number was not going in, and I haven't been at home and like focused and in the zone to make the phone call while the office was open. So I now have 1 day left to do this before Dust to Onyx goes back. So it's going to be the very first thing I do first thing tomorrow. I'm really excited to get Dust to Onyx. I feel like everyone and their mum got it before me, but that's okay, never mind. It's not important. It's not a fucking race. I'm really looking forward to getting it and working with it and seeing what I can do with it and just enjoying it. It looks so sumptuous. People are so excited. So I'm excited to do an unboxing and first impressions of Dust to Onyx. That's going to be really cool. Okay, so this has been a little update, a little video update to bring me back to things, to help me to just shake it off and get back into video making mode. Thank you so much for sitting with me and being with me. If you want to work with me, you can go to my online store. I will leave the link down below. You will find my readings there, my mentoring sessions that I do for tarot and business. I do spiritual counselling sessions. I do a shadow work counselling package, and I do all kinds of different things. I've got an ebook there. I've got an e-zine collection there. I've got some audio workshops there. So go over there and sample my wares. Taste the delights of kellyannemaddox.com. You will find the links to all of my social media bits and pieces down below. So if you want to come and follow along with me, I do post images on Instagram. I am on Twitter. I am on Facebook. I am on SoundCloud, darling. I'm all of those places, you know. I like to be everywhere all at once. I like my face all over the place. And you will also find my snail mail PO box address if you want to send me anything for my consideration or my review, or just to ponder over, obviously, you know, at my discretion. Then you can do that. Come and hang out with me and enjoy the other videos on my channel. I've got some playlists to make things easy for you to find. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope 2018 is treating you as well as it can in this geopolitical shitstorm, darling. So much love, so much tea, so much coffee if that's your bag, and blessed be. Mwah. But I'd probably end up a little bit like that scene in Bridget Jones's Diary.